We're live, boys. Hey, welcome, America, to the best hour of your day. Even if it's the greatest day of your life, even if a child's being born, your child, even if it's Christmas where you are, even if it's New Year's, this is the best goddamn hour of your day. We're turning the corner. I wanna thank our sponsor today. You guys, did you know we have a sponsor? It's very exciting.
Hot Pockets.
Chicken Bacon Ranch Hot Pockets have come through. They now
Is this a new flavor? I'm not. Is this?
I don't know, but I'm pretty excited about the prospect of Chicken Bacon Ranch Hot Pockets.
And look, they're high in protein.
Wait, fuck.
They're made
Hot
with
Pockets
real-
is created by Nestle?
No, Nestle
I
owns
did
them.
not know that.
Yeah, baby. Nestle owns
Okay.
everything.
Robin, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't think we have one on staff here. There's a map or almost like a mind map here. You've probably seen it of all these conglomerates that own almost
Yeah.
everything.
It's
Like
five
Nestle, for
companies.
example, owns most of the chocolate goodies.
Weren't they
here in America.
wasn't Nestle trying to buy like all the world's water or some shit? They're
Yes.
like an evil corporation.
They also do water as well.
Mm-hmm.
They own Dasana. I could be mistaken on this. Do they own Pepsi?
Probably.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's very like I'm telling you, they own a lot of stuff.
They own a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And so aside from Hot Pockets, it's a big day. I need to give a shout out to our one viewer. It's my mother's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. That's my
Happy birthday.
mother, Darlene, drinking mimosas with my 5-year-old son at the time. Oh, maybe it was
What a
6. I don't know.
cutie.
Isn't that adorable? Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy
One
birthday.
viewer.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Mhm.
So what is she going to do for her 21st birthday?
She's gonna get fucked up with my kids
I love it.
as usual.
I love it.
It's funny how you always talk shit about your kids on the show, but like when you go through your social media, you see that's definitely not the case. Actually, a very loving father.
I like my kids.
I don't know why you self-sabotage. One day they're gonna watch the show and be like, "What the fuck, Dad?"
You don't think that happens like on a daily basis? Oh, what I tell you, our one viewer.
Thank you.
Mom, happy birthday! Listen, someday the show's gonna be huge, and 3 people are gonna see me say happy birthday to you. So
See?
wait till next year.
So it's all coming together.
Very, very slowly. So we don't have.
Imagine we take off like Hasselhoff did in Germany.
Hasselhoff is fucking huge in Germany.
Yeah, they love it. But imagine we took off in like some remote village of the Philippines. Like,
I think are we
I
not
don't
huge
know
in the
enough.
Philippines already?
We already.
here's the problem. The problem with us taking off in some remote village of the Philippines is they don't have TVs or probably LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is a bigger
So-
issue. Like,
Yeah.
That's why we
It
gotta
could be.
establish a dictatorship and just make it like self-mandated TV. The Eric and Rodney Show, the only channel.
yeah. Do you
That's
think
right.
we could buy enough guns here to overthrow the dictator over there? Probably, right? Let me reiterate. You can go to Walmart and buy bacon chicken ranch hot pockets and a semi-automatic weapon.
Yeah. So you know what? Nothing is more American than having a hot pocket while killing people. Right?
That's what George Washington envisioned when he was.
Yeah. Didn't George Washington have wooden teeth?
It's a
I
common
don't think he could
misnomer.
have enjoyed any hot pockets. They might have caught on fire.
According to the museum at Mount Vernon, they weren't wooden; they were made from slave teeth, which was a pretty common practice back then. They just shoved slave teeth. Yeah, fucking.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Wait, huh?
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. How do you make it from slave teeth?
Well, when slaves
I
die, or I guess when
Oh,
they're
I
alive, you just
see.
yank them
Okay.
out and
Oh,
then
I
they
see.
stick them in like a I
Jesus
don't know.
Christ.
Yeah, I know. The old times were fucking wild.
Abominable. Yeah.
Jesus.
Abominable.
Thanks.
So we don't have a guest, but we do have news stories. And
I heard we had a guest.
We do. Oh,
I heard Nero was on.
he's late. He's trying to figure out StreamYard. It's been,
Did his people call your people?
I don't.
You know
So-
what I heard? I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw on Twitter that he actually was trying to get on the show, but the last 5 people that explained to him what actually was happening once he got in front of this box
Yeah.
were killed for sorcery,
Typical
devil
Nero.
worship.
He's so antiquated.
I always think about that, right? This is so crazy. Like, imagine you knew what you knew now, right? And you were back in the 1700s, and you were like, here's a cell phone. They're like,
I know.
you know what I mean? They would have been like killing.
Right. But my problem is that, like, if you sent me back 300 years, I could tell concepts and ideas, but I couldn't execute. So I'd be like, toasters are amazing. Like, bread, you got to cook it again and it's even better. And they go, great. How do we make one? I go, I have no fucking idea.
Well, we
Like,
bring you your smartest person. You know what? You could be Da Vinci.
Right. Just have a whole bunch of fucking ideas.
That's right. You'd be like, guys, I remember that. You ever see that movie? where the guy, the world had never heard of the Beatles,
Yes, and then
and
he,
he just kept writing out the tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it would be. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I have an idea for a box.
Right.
I'm gonna call it Orange.
Even if you were to bring your cell phone back in time through the time machine, you wouldn't get any service. She'd be like, "This is fucking amazing," and then you couldn't show them internet porn or anything, and they'd be very disappointed.
True.
You would be killed
For sorcery.
for sorcery. I mean, it would be something.
It would definitely be witchcraft, punishable by death.
Witchcraftery and sorcery.
So I don't these news stories. I don't think Robin has ever tried harder to get us canceled with this shit that he's picked out today.
Oh, come on, they're not that bad.
The
He
first
always says that.
Okay,
you know what? You notice he always says that. If we say something's terrible, he's like, it's not that bad.
right. Robin has some pretty aggressive takes on homosexuality too. So I'm very worried about this first story.
No, it's okay. So the first story is a bit of
Is
a
it a
dive
Fox
into
News
it.
story?
It is a Fox News story.
It's a Fox News story that is like criticizing an NBC news story. So
I can't imagine.
It goes a whole LGBTQ summer camp for kids aged 5 to 13 only exists, and NBC did a cover story on it, and they're saying, "Oh, we love this whole idea." Now, I think the key words in this headline are aged 5 to 13.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are kids that young even old enough to like know what their sexuality is, or is it just something that this propaganda has pushed too far, and they just thought like, "Oh, it's cool. It's a cool idea if I just wanted to identify something else."
I think 5 to 13. I mean, 5, who the fuck knows? But 13, I think you do. Here's the other thing: is that the idea persists on the right that you can turn a kid gay. I just don't think that's true. Like, no matter how much you hate your father or society, having sex with a guy seems to be a bridge too far if you're not gay. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have a question. Hold on a second. Fox is upset because kids aged 5 to 13 are going to camp.
Oh no! Wait.
How old are camps
camp.
when they go to kids? How old are kids when they go to camp?
Right. I think they're more upset that it's trans camp. This is one of the counselors, by the way. Evidently, there's drag makeup tutorials. But to be fair, I'd almost rather do that than anything outside. Like, I'm not big into the I don't want to hike. I don't want to fish. I don't want to canoe. I mean, this looks like a good time.
It does. To be honest, it does.
I think this is nothing.
No.
Silly.
Did you see the wrestling coach at the trans?
I did not know there was.
There's not. But are you aware of this guy? This was a WWE wrestler that's transitioned to.
Oh, this is him on the right, or her on
the
right?
one on the left.
The
The one on the right. Yeah,
okay, I was confused.
No shit.
I know that's impressive, right?
Hold on a second.
This modern science is fucking amazing. Look at this, right?
Yeah.
Very
so
impressive.
hold on a second. So he went from being Tarzan to being Jane. He looks like Tarzan on the left. I'm right? Am I right? I know he's wrestling, but he looks like Tarzan a little bit with his hair.
Yeah.
But how do you go from ripped out of your mind to pretty feminine looking? I don't know, man.
He's pretty ripped there. As the
Modern science. People don't believe in vaccines, but look what modern science can do.
Look at his stomach.
Yeah.
He's pretty ripped.
Yeah,
even as a girl.
Impressive.
Yeah.
He's still married to the same woman as well.
Is he still wrestling or
no, he's giving that up.
That's something I don't understand. Like, how could you keep a marriage going when you transition to the other sex? That's difficult.
I agree. I would have a hard time if my wife decided to be a dude.
Yeah, that would. I can't even think about it. It would be wild.
But does that make you gay though?
If your wife transitions to a man, I think it makes them that way, right?
I don't know.
No, but like you'd still have sex with them, I'm assuming.
I think it has to do.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I did think about this camp, though. Can you imagine the pronoun nightmare? But how do you refer to a group full of kids that may or not be like, oh my god? Because I've heard that you can't say "hey guys" anymore. Like that's.
I know what you could say.
What?
Oh come
Two
on.
things. I know you could say 3 things.
What?
Hey y'all. 4 things. Hey y'all.
Yep.
Right?
Y'all's good.
Friends. Hey friends. And here's my favorite. No, I'm serious. And here's my favorite. Hey gang.
That's
right. Because unless they're actually a street gang,
right,
you're okay.
Fair.
Right?
I think y'all. I think that you in the South, you've knocked that. That's perfect, right? Y'all.
And then the other thing I would say too, and the friends, because you could say, well, where do you get friends from? Have you ever seen those annoying girls on Instagram? They're like, "Hey, friends," and then they go into some kind of whatever it is they're hawking, right?
So friends is fine. Okay, well, that's good.
I mean, I think so, right? I mean, they're amongst friends, right? Nobody's
True.
Nobody's here to hurt.
At LGBTQ camp, everyone's a good friend. Here's the other thing too, is that, so you're never going to believe this, but in the comment section of this Fox News story, they were quite upset about this story. But they have no problem with Jesus camps when 5 to 13-year-olds are writhing around, speaking in tongues, crying. Like, that's fine. So here's the thing. They're fine with indoctrination as long as it's Jesus indoctrination. As soon as it's an indoctrination they don't support, then it's a big story and everybody's upset. Like, I would be equally horrified to send a 5-year-old to Jesus camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the problem, Eric. You missed it. I'm surprised because you're usually on top of this. It's the advertising that's gone awry here.
Yeah.
It should be called the Christian Gay Camp. Or whatever you just said it was. Christian LGBTQA
it solves
camp,
every
right?
problem. It bridges gaps. It's bipartisan, certainly. I think they get a lot of signups.
Yeah.
Would you like to venture to guess where this LGBTQ camp is?
Texas.
Florida.
Oh my God, it's in Florida. No.
Wait, what's the gayest state I can think of? Is there a gayest
Portland.
state? It's gonna be like the Germany of.
Oh, how you got to give us a hint? Is it West Coast or East Coast?
It's East Coast.
Boston, New York.
There you go, baby. It's right near you. I think it's shockingly close to you, actually. If you want to swing by and interviews.
I actually do have camp later. At first, when he was reading that story, I'm like, Fox is concerned about kids age 5 to 13. I'm thinking, how old do they think kids are to go to camp? What are you going to be, 21? I'm going to camp.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. To get mad at a camp for 5 to 13-year-olds is kind of weird. The other thing, not only is a pronoun nightmare, but the dorms and the bathrooms, there's got to be issues, right? Like a whole camp.
There's just a urinal.
Just one urinal.
You either sit or squat. You either stand or squat. Figure it out.
I think you solved all the problems here today between the y'all and the one urinal.
Everyone's equal.
Yeah.
Or you could, if you really want to take it to the next level, you could say everyone gets a bucket. Figure it out.
That's true.
You use the bucket. You know what? You tap the bucket to the beat of your drum.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is.
You bring people together. That's what I like about you. Once again, what blows my mind is I looked it up just to run the numbers. The people that identify as trans in the United States is 0.4%. But these stories continue to make national headlines every single day. They're a very loud minority. Or people are very upset.
They tend to make a lot of headlines. I think you meant to say at Fox.
They tend to make a lot of headlines at Fox for 0.4% of the population. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
That seems like a small amount. I'm no math magician, but
no math doctor. But it seems statistically insignificant.
And advertising, that's not a group I would want to target, and I'll tell you why. It's too small.
If I was starting a business and it only appealed to 0.4% of the public, I'd go, maybe not. Maybe not.
That's a good headline. We should write an article, right? Or maybe the computer should write one, but someone should write an article about 4%. What was the number?
0.4%.
Right? 4.4%, and be like, and make it so small, and you get to the end, you'd be like, no, that's the actual amount of trans people. Wake up.
I just think the perennial. So here's the thing too. That's always great about Fox News comments is they talk about how persecuted straight white males are, whereas they get mad at anything that doesn't have to do directly with the greatness of straight white males.
Here's the question: are the straight white males commenting?
What's that?
Who's commenting though? The straight white males,
right? They always say, "Oh, the left is fucking. They love being victims, perennial victimhood, blah blah blah." All they do is cry about how hard it is to be a straight white male in the United States.
Yeah.
I feel like the more interesting statistic would be like what % of America is like strong Christian.
There was an article a while back in the Atlantic, I think it was, that said that people have de-churched. That's what it's called now when you stop going to church.
De-churching. I heard
that's not like just church. That's like Scientology church, Catholic church, all kinds of any kind of church, right? All of them.
I have also heard that in Ireland, church attendance is down 80%. That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, that's huge. I don't know if it's down that much here. I think it was 40%, but yeah, that's 80's pretty wild.
You see what happens? You turn away from God and you send your kids to gay camp. See, the United States is hell in a handbasket. Why do people care if gay kids want to go hang out with other gay kids? Whatever. Just fucking let them do it. Keep doing shit. Shut up.
I always thought things, right? And I don't necessarily care so much about children. I mean, God bless them, but I've never been a big fan of children, if you can imagine it. And I just think to myself, I know what a pain in the ass it was being a kid, and I don't have to tell you, I was obviously the coolest one there. But I like to think to myself, wouldn't you want, like, just brainstorming here, if I had a restaurant, right, or a camp for children, I would want them to feel as comfortable as possible, have the time of their life.
Exactly. So
not just because I care about the children,
right?
Because that's what brings them back. And unfortunately, as twisted as this world is, we have to make money.
Yeah,
and the more money they spend,
right?
Common sense, guys.
I think maybe it's getting easier for homosexuals in this country, but I'm sure it still isn't as easy it is to be straight. So if you get a kid, you know he's gay, he wants to go to a camp where people are like him, just let him fucking do it instead.
Maybe the problem is we don't have enough.
I agree with that.
Right.
These kids can't just go to fucking drag makeup tutorials without assholes on Fox News shitting all over.
Yeah. That's right.
Great. I think my opinion on this wasn't too controversial.
No, it's just
to be fair, I think I had my first crush when I was like 7 or 8. So like by then I already knew.
A camp. Filipino gay camp. That's great.
Filipino day gay camp.
Yeah, day gay camp.
Oh, so quickly be demonized, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would fly over there where divorce is illegal and what else? What other weird Catholic laws you got?
That's pretty much it.
You can't. You have to read a verse of the Bible every night.
Like at day gay camp.
Yeah.
All right, I think we drove that one to the ground. You want to do this next one?
Yeah. So I mean, yesterday we also talked about how there was this vegan chick that passed away after eating only durian and jackfruit. And apparently now we're being warned by CNN actually that some salads might not be safe to eat after all because some context. So about 100 years ago, if you were eating a raw salad, people would think you're crazy because there were so many contaminants, viruses, and bacteria. Now it's gotten kind of better because like we have really good decontamination, pesticide, so it's not something we have to worry about. But apparently foodborne illnesses are making a comeback, and 130K people are being hospitalized, 3,000 are dying in the States alone. So salads,
man, foot salads. You know how many Twinkies? You know how many people Twinkies kill every year?
Now let me ask you a question. Just a quick one before we get into this one. Was this the segment that Chris Christie was headlining?
Chris Christie is famously anti-salad, obviously. You know what's scary about this is they said that. So I don't know if you read the article, but one of the guys was like, "Well, what about the bagged salad that says triple washed? Does that go okay? Can I wash it again?" He was like, "Yeah, washing doesn't really help kill the bacteria." So you're fucked. Like if you're gonna eat a salad, you're just rolling the dice. Although it did say if you have a normal immune system, you're fine. It's only killing sick people who are eating salads. So
oddly enough, it seems like the disease only seems to kill off the sick people.
You know what? That's bizarre.
I wonder if there's a correlation. Here's the thing, too. I was thinking the only other way I read, I don't know if you saw this as well, to really cleanse the lettuce was to set it on fire, the bag, inside the bag.
You got to cook it. You got to get the lettuce to 165 degrees so it's safe to eat.
Right. Wait, can I say something? Because I just saw that documentary, it's a movie, whatever it was, right?
Which one?
There's some documentary now called Food's Killing Us, Poison, whatever on Netflix. It's good. It just came out. Anyway, this guy says, if you go into a diner, right?
Yeah. To
get food, he's like, order a hamburger. He's like, can you tell the waiter, I want it cooked to 155 degrees.
Okay.
Now, I just want to preface this. So I'm thinking here in New York, right? If I go to the diner and I tell the guy or girl, right, or they, I need it cooked to 155 degrees. They're gonna be like, "Who is this guy on drugs? What's he talking about?" They're gonna go in the back to the guy who's been cooking for 1,000 years and be like, "Hey, listen, table 12, he wants 155 degrees." Absolutely. Yeah. As he prepares to specially marinate my hamburger.
In his on his balls.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
No way. No one's gonna fucking. Yep.
Like, and then he was like, some guy was like, "What if they don't have a meat thermometer?" He's like, here's my thought, right? Here's my thought. I'm just brainstorming. Wouldn't you say, "Well done"?
Yeah. Well,
there's nobody in the world that doesn't know what that means. No one.
Right. He's going to cook it to death. It's going to be disgusting. I'd rather take my chances and maybe have the cheeseburger kill me than eat a well-done diner cheeseburger.
You know what I was thinking then? You know what? Crazy idea. Just eat a bag of Doritos. Just
Well,
go in a
here's
different
the
direction.
thing too, like, so they say in this article that processed food eliminates things like listeria. So we've been worshiping the outside, the rims, the meat and the produce of grocery stores. No, that shit will kill you. You're gonna cook the meat to 155 degrees. The lettuce is filthy. Get yourself a hot pocket and you're fine. Have I mentioned?
That's why I always wondered why don't they focus right on
Today's
making this
sponsor.
stuff healthy?
Exactly.
Like imagine this, right?
Right.
I don't know anything about food, but imagine you were like, listen, if you eat these 2 hot pockets, you will lose 15 pounds.
Yeah, and there's no hope of listeria.
And
So-
they're good.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing:
That's
the
what
article
the scientists should be working on.
Well, they're not. They're turning wastewater into beer like a bunch of stupid assholes. In this article, this is what continues to blow my mind about the United States. They go through this whole thing about 2 infants died of contaminated formula. So they did a huge
Yes.
recall, and there was fucking legislation passed. And listen. No infants should die of poison formula.
Right.
2,590 kids were killed by gun violence in 2021. 0 got done. 2 infants died of formula. Yeah, everyone loses their fucking mind. And again, very sad about these infants. No infant should die. But I just think if 2,500 kids were shot, maybe we do something on that front. Could we? Maybe.
Right.
I think you're asking a lot here. You're
I
really
know.
you're grasping.
Mhm.
You're grasping.
It's worrisome when like the school
It's
shooter
absurd.
stories don't get headlines anymore because it's just
No,
not
listen. There's gay
used.
camps, Robin. We can't have kids going to gay camps. Shoot them. If we shoot them, it doesn't make news.
You know what I don't understand? This is where I don't get, right? I've never understood this, and I'm not advocating gun violence, but you never hear about people saying, listen, it's always, oh, Timmy got upset and shot up the school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's never like, I'm just brainstorming and been like, you know what? They went down and just went crazy on the ticketing people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's never, or like, for example, hey, Dan. For
Dan,
example,
we're talking
right?
about Jesus and guns. You love it. You
Yeah.
should get in here. Favorite subject.
Oh no.
I always think that people that want to do the mass shootings, I have a place for them. Let's send them on over to war.
Right?
Let's drop
You
them
can
off
shoot
in
whoever the
Ukraine
fuck
and
you want over
you
there.
know what? Go
Deal with
crazy,
repercussions. Yeah.
right?
I know. I don't get it. So I was trying to correlate how many people. So 3,000 people die from foodborne illnesses in the United States every year. So I was trying to look up like other hilarious ways we die, but I couldn't find anything in volume. But so deer kill 200 people in the United States every year. Did you know this?
I don't know how
That's
that's
probably
even
from
possible.
wrecks, right?
Or
What's that?
yeah,
Wrecks,
okay, car
probably. It's
crashes.
probably from a wreck, like hitting a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be like they stalk and eat us, but that wasn't the case. 100 people die from bees every year. And 30 to 50 are killed by dogs. So I don't know.
Only 50?
I
thought
know.
it'd be
I
a lot
thought it'd be
higher.
higher too.
I think the dogs have.
Typical
I think the dogs
stories.
have calmed down some.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because we have so many varieties. A pug isn't going to kill you. A bulldog, it's going to
No.
be very difficult.
True.
Shih Tzu.
Actually, to be honest with you, most people I know that have dogs. Most people I know that have dogs don't have. My Siri popped up. That's why I didn't know.
I thought you
I
had
was
a
like, what happened?
moment.
No, I have Siri popped up, and I said, "What's going on?" Most people I know that have dogs are lap dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the vicious
So
going kind.
the French
they're not.
bulldog overtook the Labrador after was it Labrador or the Golden Retriever? But after 31 years, it's now the #1 American dog breed.
Oh, that's like Bud Light losing to Modelo after all this time. So
Which, by the way, I got to tell you, can I just say this? Modelo, either one of them, Especial or Negro, is so much better than Bud Light. And I don't care about controversy. I'm just saying that they're amazing beers.
I bought Modelo for the first time after we did the news story about it being the most popular beer because I never had it. It's
loved it.
delightful. Yeah.
Right.
It's better than Bud Light. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, and Bud Light is my trash beer of choice. I know, like most people have a trash beer. It's either Coors, Miller, or Bud Light.
Mine was
Bud
always
Light
Miller.
mine. What's up?
Mhm.
Yeah, my trash beer was always Miller.
Yeah. So everybody has a trash beer, and mine was Bud Light. But yes, Modelo is better, and I think about the same price. Right? It's not any more expensive,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's good.
and
I
it's
don't
not
also-
gay. Thank God. You know what I'm
Although I
saying?
don't think the calories are the same.
I gotta tell you, I'm not a calorie drinker guy. I don't give a fuck if I'm getting drunk. I'm not on Weight Watchers, obviously.
Right.
Do we have
Also
anything
relating
else?
back to the story, I think that so a lot of the new generations, I think their immune system is a lot worse because these kids are no longer playing in the dirt.
Yeah, they're not
used
eating
to
dirt,
a couple
right?
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a study done to it, but it makes a lot of sense. You got all these iPad kids.
We should get a study going, but I'll tell you this: a lot less people are dying of listeria now. You know why? Because President Obama in 2011, I think it was, passed more legislation about cleaning our food. Which, once again, two things: Obama's
Thanks,
the greatest.
Obama.
and fuck libertarians who hate regulation. I want, we got to send the libertarians to one state. Let this whole thing play out. They're eating filthy lettuce, like no roads. It's going to be.
You know what I heard? You know what I heard one time? I'm not saying this, but I heard this, right? I heard that. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying this. I heard this. Is that Democrats are terrible, Republicans are even worse, and the libertarians are Republicans without common sense.
It's the libertarian ideology.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what I heard that as a joke. It's funny though.
No, it's funny because it's true. All right. Oh shit, I love this next story. Can we do this one?
Yeah, we could. So I actually found this on a website that specializes on oddities news. Okay, so it goes. There's this popular. No, it wasn't Fox. There's this popular zoo in China, and they've been receiving complaints that zoo goers are being scammed. And one of their main attractions, the sun bears, are thought to be paid actors to go into these bear suits and pose for a few hours, so they're not real bears. Let's get a verdict.
Is this a real story?
Hold on. Well, listen, I can't believe that they're saying this bear isn't real, because to me, I mean, this is like, you know what I mean? How can you say real bears? How can you say this is a person in a bear costume?
Wow.
Do you want to see the rest of the animals in the zoo, in the Chinese zoo? Look at that.
Is that a husky in the middle or on the end? That looks like half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like they get a reindeer.
Are you guys messing around, or is this real? Because this looks like a furry convention.
No,
this is the Chinese zoo. All right, you want to see the
okay,
real
I was
bear?
going to say, there's no way.
All right, this. They're saying this is not a person in a bear costume.
This is a person in a bear costume. You know what? I got to be honest. Did you see the dog from the other day?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Where's this at in China?
Yeah.
China.
Where was that fella from?
Japan.
That's pretty close, right?
Yes, the Far East is doing amazing things with costumes.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, I think they could probably make something like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's my stance on it. I don't. Why fucking not? Because like if we could create realistic enough bodysuits at this point, maybe all the zoo animals should just be like set free. You'd be doing a favor to the zoo animals. You'd be doing a favor to the furries. Like, why not?
Is there a brony exhibit?
There it is.
Of course, there's a brony exhibit. Look at them.
Wait, are these bronies?
Wow. I think furries and bronies. Yeah, I think there's a fine.
Wait, are these dudes or girls? Yeah, these are guys, because this guy has a key thing on his pants. No girl would ever wear that.
The one in the jeans, I'm going to imagine, is a guy.
Yeah, well, I think both of them are, because he has a bunch of keys on his. He must be a janitor.
I don't want to play gender stereotypes here, but I'm guessing the pink one is a girl.
Have you ever seen a woman, though, honestly, with a huge key thing on her side? Never.
Have
like
you ever
that huge key ring?
Do you know the male to female ratio in this thing must be like it's got to be 99-1, right? This pink thing at the end is the only chick at this convention, I would imagine.
I don't know, because he's wearing a waist bag. What's that thing called?
Oh, the sash. Bag. He's got a sash. Yeah.
I don't know. I think a dude might wear that. I think I think on the very end he's a dude. Maybe that's his girlfriend.
The one on the far left is wearing a thing to cover his fake genitalia, which is nice. He's the modest furry.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense.
This one, though, those chicks. I mean, not bad for furries, I think.
Right.
Robin, you know the Chinese pretty well. Do you think this is a man in a bear costume, or do you think this is a bear?
I think it's a bear.
Honestly, I think it's a bear. Like, the face looks too realistic, but it looks sad and malnourished.
Well, this is like zoos are fucked up. So to your point, if we can do really good costumes, just get humans to play them,
Right.
That's true.
Like a bear should not live in Detroit. Your kid doesn't need to see a walrus that bad to torture these things their entire lives,
Yeah.
I'm anti-zoo. Fuck zoos. I like this bear. And honestly, objectively, this is a more entertaining zoo. I would go here.
Yeah, that's a good zoo.
Here's the thing too, like super nerds are famously unclean. So can you imagine how bad the inside of these costumes smell? It must be. It's like somebody said once that Comic-Con smells like body odor and Mountain Dew. And I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Bad news bears.
The Chinese bear story making headlines.
I actually saw something yesterday, Eric, I wanted to tell you about. I think you would find interesting. So I got to find it and I'll send it to you. But Rob Lowe was on a podcast recently and he was talking about hanging out with Charlie Sheen.
Oh man.
And he says that he was talking about, he's like, we were out one night. He's like, and the ATMs had just come out. He's like, we could go and get cash. He's like, and Charlie basically called the bank up and was like, how do I get one put in my house? He's like, he's like, so he liked the ATM. He's like, I've never seen anybody like it more.
I gotta tell you,
an early proponent of it.
I support that. People forget, wasn't Rob Lowe? Didn't he get in trouble for making a sex tape with a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I think he did some devious stuff. Yeah,
he really turned his career around though, right? Because that was like a national treasure. He's out there selling Atkins bars, and he's on.
Yeah, and he's selling. He's doing some kind of show about 911 or something.
Yeah. And you got mistaken for Rob Lowe recently, didn't you?
Yeah, a lady asked me on the cruise. She goes, "Are you Rob Lowe?" And at one point, I said, "Well, do you think Rob Lowe would be on a cruise with you?"
That's not bad. It's better than. Are you Lizzo? You look like Lizzo. Are you? Is it?
Well, Lizzo now has spoken out about her.
Oh, what did she say?
Misdeeds.
Is she innocent?
She didn't do anything wrong.
I don't.
Yeah, she said she feels offended and like betrayed.
Everyone's offended and betrayed. Listen, this would piss me off too, because she she brought one of her dancers to a strip club. I'm sure bought all the drinks, and now the stripper is turning her in for HR violations. Fuck off. Stop it.
I mean, here's the thing though: is there an HR department on the dance team?
This story bothers me to my core.
You know what the problem? Real crime here is Lizzo needs a PO. That's where that's what I'm getting from this entire.
If only there was some sort of structure to report such violations, everything would have been better. It would have never made the news.
We could have nipped it right into bud. Man, oh man, Shevitz.
I just can't imagine this shit happening in the 70s, man, when music was cool. I hear there's no drugs at Saturday Night Live anymore. Comedians.
I don't even think Saturday Night Live's a thing anymore, is it? Didn't it get canceled for the season because of some sort of strike going on?
Oh, the writers' strike. Yeah, the writers probably aren't on drugs anymore either. Everything sucks, Robin.
They're all on strike acting.
Life is hard. Oh, all right. Ooh.
Somebody has a Zach call.
My bad.
Tell them
that was big.
When our shows don't have guests, the quality goes right in the tank.
Yeah,
do you wanna cover this next story? Do you want to see if I can show it?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So apparently there's a special part of the Olympics where it's like the World University Games, but it's for university students. And one of the African runners had a horrible performance. So it's strange because I thought most of the best runners came from Africa. So this one was particularly from Somalia, and it was this candidate was almost completely untrained.
Yeah. All right. Can you see this?
Yes.
All right. Check this chick out.
在U20亚锦赛上也拿到过奖牌。
All right. Not her. She's good.
这一枪的表现。
Oh, okay.
All right. Keep your eye on this one here.
领先还是比较有优势的，是说在这个阶段逐渐开始掉队了。球打不好，处在第一，率先贡献全力的去冲。这一枪11秒。
Hold on. Oh, that's the winner. There we go. It's coming.
She won. Oh, there she is.
Oh no.
Did you see how she jumped on the line when she landed? What is she 11? She's like a kid. Right?
Okay.
She jumped on the line. I don't think the Olympians act that way.
No, I like how she's half an hour behind everybody else. But the fucked up thing is everyone's mad because some Somali official let her niece run it. But in the rule book, it says if you don't have any qualified runners, you can just let whoever the fuck run. So she obviously just let whoever the fuck run. I don't know.
Right. It was probably, you know what it was? It was probably a radio station giveaway.
It was right. Yeah,
run caller 105.
Caller 105 gets to run the 100-meter dash. But here's the other thing: it was a Fox News covered this, and in the comments section, everyone's shitting all over her. I don't know if you heard yesterday, but 42% of Americans are obese. What are we fucking making fun of this chick for?
Wait, let me ask you a question though. Isn't that guy that ran the marathon in less than 2 hours? Isn't he from Somalia? We couldn't get him.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm surprised they couldn't find one Somali that was qualified. But listen, evidently they didn't.
Somalia is in Africa. Is that right?
That's true.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just asking, right? Isn't the New York City Marathon almost always won by someone from Africa?
Yeah, I don't think it's racist to say that Africa produces some great runners. I think they win every marathon. I'm surprised, just as you.
I'm blown away by this. Yeah, I could see America doing that. They're like, here's Timmy from the couch.
I do think it was a radio station giveaway. And then Robin, you wanted to show how futile the
I did.
Diving team is okay.
So this reminded me of like a very viral story a couple of years ago where it was the Southeast Asia Games, and apparently the Philippines also had their own diving team that was severely unprepared.
Yep.
So they just got two random dudes, and that I don't know, prepared in like a week, and this was what happened.
I got to tell you though,
I don't know if you guys remember
everything
this,
is fine until the end.
Oh
right?
man, the Filipino diving team is really not very good, and this video has been making the rounds from a competition in 2015. It was the Southeast Asian Games in Singapore. Take a look at these guys.
That's right. this is amazing.
Yikes!
Oh, the flops were so bad. The zoom in is even worse.
I don't know what's worse.
Just toss
Yikes.
this.
At least he got to go.
When I saw
swimming.
it, I said,
Yeah.
"You have footage of Robin at the water park."
Yeah, that was Robin right before the cycle of steroids.
Yeah,
That's right before he hit 220.
and the air traffic control.
I don't know, man. I
Good
did.
times.
Oh shit! I gotta shut
Yeah.
that off. The other guy was equally bad, but I do find it ironic that Fox News is shitting all over that chick. Like, listen, most of us are obese. Something tells me that a lot of Fox News readers are heavier. You know what I mean? Like, the right tends
Yeah.
to skew larger.
You know what I was going to tell you too? I forgot to share is that Tucker did another show recently with Ice Cube, and he was riding around in Ice Cube's Bentley, and they were talking about how Ice Cube was painted as a villain because he said people. Well, he said he didn't say people shouldn't get vaccines. He said he wasn't getting the vaccine.
Oh my god. So Tucker, so we've lost Kanye and Ice Cube to the right.
I think so.
Jeez, I mean,
I think I got to be honest. I don't even
Wait,
think we've
Ice
lost Kanye
Cube?
to the right. I think we've just lost Kanye. I don't
Okay.
think it's to the right or to the left. I think he's just in another planet. I think Elon's
Yeah.
talking about Mars.
he
He's
went full
there.
match.
He's there.
He's
He's already there. I mean, he's crazy. Like I was watching something. My wife was watching the Kardashians, something with the Kardashians the other day, keeping up with them or living with
Yeah.
them or something with them. And Kim was going on and crying in her warehouse of his clothes. And I was thinking to myself, Kanye's already remarried.
Yeah, no shit.
And one day he's in Italy, next day he's in Japan.
Did you hear
Next
that?
day's, you know,
Yeah, on Mars.
Kid
Did you hear the
Rock,
story
yeah.
that Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian were almost a thing? Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
following Kanye? Look, I think she's got to be a little nuts. Kanye's gone, but if you marry someone who's gone, doesn't that make? Isn't that?
I think Tom though has moved on to greener pastures. He's after Irina somebody. They had a sleepover, so I think
very
Tom,
attractive.
I got to be honest with you, and this sounds terrible because I like Tom Brady. I do. I'm not a big fan of the Patriots, but I like Tomcat. I always have.
Mhm.
I was never worried about him rebounding. I
No.
didn't see a problem for him.
Oh shit! Speaking of Tom Brady, not only is it my mother's birthday, but it's also Tom Brady's birthday today.
Tomcat's
Oh.
birthday. Happy
Yep.
birthday, Tomcat, and wherever you are.
The two most important people in my lives were born on the same day. Isn't it? What a
That is
wonderful
special.
coincidence.
Did you know that Tom's also bought he's bought a soccer team as well? Tom's been busy.
I saw
He's
that
bought
today
a-
on Instagram. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
getting
very
around.
cool.
He bought like some racing shit too, right?
Yeah, he's
Spending a lot of money.
I got to be honest. I think he's going to get richer.
Yeah. Do you think he's spending some of Giselle's money? Wasn't she had more money than him, right? Wasn't she worth
Is
600
that
million?
possible? I don't know. He's got a lot of money. And he also has some crazy contract with Fox because he's going to work for Fox when he
I've
decides.
heard this.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, baby. You know what we should have done? The three of us has been the best football player in the world. It seems to have worked out for our friend Thomas. Thomas
Yeah.
Edward Brady. All right, what do we got next? What's the big net? Oh yeah, this one.
But yeah, I also wanted to ask just a random question.
who's Tom
if you
Brady?
guys were-
What's football?
So if you guys were single, would you even consider dating Kim Kardashian at like
Hmm.
present day? Do you think she's a bit past her prime, or
She's definitely past her prime, but I do it for the story. You know what I
That's
mean? That's a good story.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
But like I'm almost curious because obviously for women, when you're dating a rich man, it's very attractive. But like I wonder if it's the same if it's the other way around. Like, do a lot of guys get off on that?
No. As a
No.
matter of fact, we were going to do that bit last week where it's like hot chicks married to ugly men, but you very rarely see like a super attractive dude married to an ugly chick, no matter how much money they have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is one example.
Who?
Well, I'll give you one. I mean, I don't think that she's unattractive, but people have said she's unattractive. Is Rob Lowe's wife?
Rob Lowe's wife is unattractive? I'd have to look her up.
I didn't say she was. I said people have said she is.
I will. Okay, that's a safe way to doing this because we're not passing judgment. We're saying
I'm not passing any judgment. I think she's
that's
attractive.
what
I do.
What society has said because Hugh Jackman's wife is not very attractive, and
Yeah.
Pierce
I didn't even know
Brosnan-
Hugh Jackman was married. I thought Hugh Jackman was a single man.
I gotta tell you, he is, and so take a look at his wife, and then Pierce Brosnan's wife also gets a lot of shit.
I didn't even know. You know what else is funny is Kevin Costner's wife. I didn't even know he was married.
What is she? Is she not attractive?
No, she's. I think she's attractive. I didn't even know she was married. I didn't even know he was married.
Wait, who's Danny DeVito married to?
Rita Perlman.
Do we know?
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah,
She pretty?
No.
She's small like he is.
As a matter of fact, somebody from the Cheers cast got fired because he said the worst part to be about on Cheers is that he has to kiss her. So he went on a radio station. They were like, "Oh, it must be awesome being on a huge show." He's like, "Yeah, it's great, but I'm dating this chick in the show," and it was Danny DeVito's wife. She's not very attractive. No reason to get fired from the number one sitcom in the United States at the time, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's like an attractive 20-year-old that would probably date Danny DeVito, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you're famous, you can get whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
Which is why we do this show every day. We're slowly, in 50 to 60 years, we'll be able to.
How many shows have we done now? They say once you do 100 that you should see something good.
Yeah, I think I don't
About-
think we're 100.
We are?
We're about 60.
No, 60 we started in the last week of May.
We started in 1984.
The question is, do you think we're getting any better at this? Or do we think are we as bad as we were in the beginning?
I mean, listen, everybody, listen, here's what I'll tell you. And you know this is true, Eric. And I don't know if Robin's been privy to it. Everyone we've spoken to have said, and some very influential voices out there in these LinkedIn pages, has said video.
Yeah.
And now we're doing video.
But have they said we have to do quality video?
Well, yeah. And here we are. And I don't know. I don't know if the video is the answer. But they all say it's video. And a few people have told us they've gotten significant amounts of business from video, although they may have only had 1 or 2 viewers.
Right. I've heard that too. Well, listen, we did get Hot Pockets as a sponsor, so that's a big step in that direction. The other thing that we talk about a lot is we don't really monetize the show in any way. We don't push our agendas or our businesses. So that might be something that we're doing.
That could be. My only issue, though, I would say with the Hot Pocket deal, before we get off of it, is that it's very difficult for them to send us one a month when there's 3 of us. So
we're gonna have to alternate who gets the
maybe tighten up. I don't know. You know what I mean?
The first month it's me and you, and then it's you and Robin, and then it's me and Robin, and then it goes back.
Well, right now I got the one this month, and I've cut it into 3s. Robin, I can't tell you what's going to happen to yours by the time it gets there. We were experimenting with dry ice last night, but we burned the tips of our fingers off, so we're still working on it.
Video killed the LinkedIn star. Who are LinkedIn stars? Do we know?
Ben Mears is a star. Chris Bogue is a star.
That's huge.
Trying to think who else.
Becky Jolly, huge.
Becky Jolly.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't do videos though. She just does.
No, she's just a regular star. Oh, I'll tell you who the huge
that's
LinkedIn
true.
star is. Jenny Winnie. And
Jenny Winnie and the average dude. He's a big star. You know what? Here's what I'll say. You know what? I will say this. Hold on. Time out. And I'm no video expert. Okay. But out of all the videos I've seen, I would say the average dude, Dan the Man, the average dude, he has the best videos. Like of him talking, into the camera.
The man on the street.
I would say the best. Yeah, that kind of whatever the hell it's called, right? I would say the best, funniest videos I've seen. Okay, I'm just being honest. Is from a good guy I know named Eric Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How are they? They all right?
No, they're good. They're good. They're very good, especially when you're critiquing old commercials. Those are good.
Oh, I got to get back to that. You know what the problem is? I do this other show every day. What?
How many takes do you do on
it's
some
one,
of those?
baby. Come on, he's Jay-Z. It's like Jay-Z.
On my videos where I critique old commercials and shit like that?
Yeah. It's just one take.
No,
Okay.
well,
Just one.
it used to be, now they call me One Take. They call me Eric, America's Sweetheart, One Take Ryan. I do a few. I pick the best. You know?
Yeah.
Thanks for asking. It looks like it's one take, does it not?
I don't know how all that wonderful stuff works, but they're funny.
Thank you. But have you
I
seen
think Dan the Man
Jenny Winnie's-
is so off the cuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Have you seen Jenny Winnie's show where she wears different dresses? That's going too.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's huge. I think she's tuned out, so she's not going to come.
Is it called Jenny's Dressing Room?
If it's not,
if it's called Jenny's Dressing Room, then I think it would have more subscribers.
I agree with you. Oh boy, yeah. I don't know if we're getting any better, but here we are. I think once we hit 100, we're going to be really good at this shit.
Yeah, I think so. We've had some interesting guests. I can say that.
We have. We have no guests today because Nero didn't show up. Do you want to talk about Leah Remini and Scientology?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I actually don't know who Leah Remini is. But,
I'm going to tell you. She used to be on a great show.
That was a good show.
I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
She was on a very good show with a very talented man named Kevin James. And, 18,000 followers.
Jesus Christ.
You know what, Jenny, can you do us a favor? Can you tell them to watch the Eric and Rodney?
Yeah, we get 18 viewers a week, and 10 of them are my mother.
We get 18 views. We've had 18,000 views since we've been born.
I'm not sure that's true either.
No, that's definitely not true. Maybe 18.
Yeah.
She was on a very good show. She was the female lead on a very good show called King of Queens with Kevin James.
Yes.
She's famous.
And that's the only thing she's ever done, though. I mean, listen, great show, but since then, her whole personality is hating Scientology. And I just, she was in the thing. She was batshit crazy along with everybody else. She benefited from it. And now her whole thing is how much she hates it. So I can't really take her seriously, you know?
Remember, did you ever watch the A&E special?
I did.
Where her and that guy was like talking about Scientology. Here's the thing that's crazy to me, right? She's like, yeah, I went up to David Miscavige one day and said, David, where's Shelley?
Oh, yeah. Right.
She's like, and I knew then he was missing. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what was the breaking point after you spent $3-4 million or what was, she's like, remember, it was just so bizarre to me. It was like she kept telling the same story over and over. She's like, I saw Tom Cruise one day and he was like, hi, Leah. She's like, and I knew then they had him. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Stupid.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Prior to knowing who she was.
You're right. She was on Saved by the Bell, but I still maintain that she's a D-list actress, has nothing else going on in her life but the crowd.
I don't know what else she was in.
Yeah,
I know that she was on a very good show called King of Queens. She was amazing.
King of Queens was fucking hilarious.
Was
Ben Stiller's father was great in it.
She also was on another show with Kevin James a couple of years ago.
Because the show wasn't working out with his wife that they cast, so they killed her off and replaced her with Leah Remini.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I have Scientology's batshit crazy in general, but their god's name is Ron.
L. Ron.
Well,
listen to this. Here's an interesting fact about Scientology. So I was at my mom's recently where, I had very little cable and internet work. And one night we got stuck on the Scientology channel and I was mystified by, I'll tell you why, because it kept interviewing people and talking to them about why they love Scientology, which is it's the same message over and over. But it was where it got interesting. There were no commercials for anything else other than Scientology. Everything on the channel was Scientology.
Hello. So Scientology has an entire channel?
Yeah, on DirecTV.
Get the fuck out of here! Really? Well, you would think. I mean, it's in Hollywood, right? There's a million.
But here's the thing. I'll tell you. I watched it. I watched it for like 4 hours, right? Because I was bored, and it was a lot of propaganda. But no, I still don't know what Scientology is about. I know it's religion, but I don't like within 15 minutes of watching a religious channel, you're like, obviously there's some guy that they believe's up in the sky. Yeah, we're all praying to. Right. I still don't know what was going on.
I don't either. And I was thinking about this too. You know how we covered the story yesterday? Like, if you want to piss off a Muslim, burning a Quran is a good place to start. If you want to piss off a Scientologist, do you burn a copy of Battlefield Earth? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What are you doing? The Dianetics? Well, here's the other thing I learned. They got a ton of books. That guy, L. Ron, must have been busy writing.
It was pretty prolific.
Now, here's the other thing. L. Ron died.
Yeah.
And I think what I gathered from it is it was on a boat, I think.
Uh-huh.
And he had a bunch of people that were like indentured slaves, really. Like they somehow had sold off the rights. I don't understand anything was going on. But they made it to the promised land or wherever L. Ron's at.
I think every religion is batshit crazy. I think religions that start in the United States have a certain element of batshit crazy-erness. Like Mormonism and Scientology. Like, come on, man. Your religion's like 100 years old. Wasn't Mormonism was started by a guy named John? Like, you cannot have God start religion.
Yeah, and he was in New York and he said he found 2 gold plates out in the yard that gave him all the rules.
In a hat, right? Didn't you see
in a hat, right? It was something like that. But here's the thing that's crazy, right? Is that stuff happens to me all the time.
This guy eats a couple mushrooms out in the woods, hallucinates.
You know what?
and then he
I will
starts
tell you
on
this. I was watching the other day, right? Because I don't know if you know this or not, because I didn't know this. Yes, I did see the commercial.
But what is Dianetics about?
Here's the other thing. Hold on. I bought the book when I was in college and tried to read it. I fashioned myself relatively intelligent. I didn't know what they were talking about. Aliens and space machines. And I said, this sounds like Star Trek. I'm out.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. It's got to be the most confusing religion I've ever seen. I could not understand what's going on. I don't know if they believe in God or if they believe in Elron. I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's their self.
Is Xenu part of this? Isn't that a thing? Xenu? I think
he's the leader.
Xenu. I thought he was. He's not the God.
He's God. I don't. You know what? We never got that far.
Yeah. Well, this bothers me too. So, like, when I was reading through the thing, they talk about in Scientology, in that giant building that says Scientology, they have like kids living there. They got in trouble. Like, they were trying to serve Miscavige papers for human trafficking. And then some guy that escaped the cult said he had the education of an 8th grader, despite the fact that he's like 50, because L. Ron famously didn't like the education system in the United States. So they've created this whole like curriculum for children. This goes back to the Ayn Rand thing where she's like, oh, if you have kids in this country, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want with them. No, you need regulation, because some morons are going to have like, L. Ron's going to teach my kid math. L. Ron doesn't know math. He's a moron. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And you go, well, it doesn't matter that these people don't. No, it does, because eventually they're not productive members of society, and the rest of us have to pick them up.
Well, that's what happens with the Amish, right? If they decide not to go back, they don't have any sense.
Exactly. But the Amish at least have the decency to keep themselves in their own little bullshit world.
Yeah.
Like, these idiots are sending them out to the real world, and they don't know how to spell. Like, that's a problem.
Right. Well, you can shit on these cult leaders all you want, but like I think there's some pretty impressive skill required to like convert a bunch of people to follow you. I
think you taught people how to be more confident, and people went crazy with it. Here's what I was going to say to you, right? When watching that show, How to Create a Cult, they didn't get into L. Ron because I guess they don't consider him a cult because he's taxed.
They don't want to get in trouble with Scientology.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you who they did go after was Jim Jones, and I didn't realize this, but Jim Jones was a preacher, and he would ride from town to town doing his preachings. I just don't. The first time I had ever heard about Jim was when they were drinking Kool-Aid and killing people, and I just thought he was a crazy man that brought a bunch of people to the Philippines?
Yeah, no, it was in South America.
It's an island. Yeah, it was.
I don't know, somewhere, right? Maybe it might have been New York City, but wherever they were, they all drank some Kool-Aid and passed on.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing to Robin's point. There are no absolutes, right? My thing, though, is that if you're a cult leader and you're going to convince women to give their children poison Kool-Aid, you're a fucking moron. Like, they're not cult leaders don't attract lawyers and doctors and astronauts and pilots. They attract fragile, egoed, like abuse, whatever. There's something fundamentally wrong with you if you're going to follow a cult. I think.
I'm also confident at this point to talk about Iglesia Ni Cristo because we've already like covered it, and I don't care so much.
I never heard of her.
Oh,
it's
cult?
It's the cult in the Philippines where they like believe if they pass on or the judgment day comes, they're going to be carried up by a spaceship and be saved, and everyone else is going to like perish on the earth. So the way that the cult leader for Iglesia Ni Cristo set it up is that all members of the church who are having an income must pay 10% of their income to the church. So they're one of the, I think they are the most, maybe next to Scientology, like the richest religious group in the world.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay this 10%, they write your name on the board in front of the church, and like everyone sees your name that like this person is not contributing to our cause.
Be honest, is our name up there?
So like he's smart. He's able to make it part of capitalism.
I mean, yeah.
Did you see my name?
You look at mega churches in the United States, like these they're unbelievable. The preachers and pastors have multiple planes and shit. But the most egregious thing I've seen is the Vatican. Like, I've been to the Vatican. If you sell off any like 10-foot space of the fucking museum of priceless art they have in there, you could eradicate homelessness. And what do you think Jesus would do, assuming he was real? You know what I mean? He wouldn't hoard wealth. I think, like, I'm no Jesus doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's the thing he would not do. But every religion is just the guise, I think, to prey upon the vulnerable, you know?
If the other thing I don't understand,
ideals, they'd do better.
This is the other thing I don't understand about religion, right? That I don't like. If I was going to make a cult, first of all, there would be no children. Second of all, I don't know why. What's the fascination with the children?
It's because it always goes into weird sex stuff. It cannot stay away from weird.
I have no interest in the children. Matter of fact, well, maybe we just ban the children. Children are banned, And then the second part would be, right, is I don't care whether you talk to your family. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you send the checks, we're aces. Right. And here's the second part. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white. God bless you. As long as you can send in the money,
right,
you're all right. Once you stop sending in the money, the devil's going to get you. I know.
But here's the problem. If you allow them to talk to their family go, what the fuck are you doing paying Rodney all your fucking salary for,
I'd say, introduce me to them.
Yeah.
We'll have light and air load too. Now come on in here, friends. Get on in here.
Do you have a name?
Paws on you.
Have you been thinking about a name for this organization?
No, but give me time.
Rod, the PEO gods.
That's it.
Big happy fun.
I have no interest in starting Nicole. I'm just saying if I was going to start one, I would be very inclusive. Right? I wouldn't be like, you know what, if you don't like, this or that, you got to get out of here. Come on. Yeah, we need members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need traction.
Yeah. That's how you scale. All right, real quick, because we only have 4 minutes left. I want to do 2 LinkedIn lunatics. Only because
please.
Look at that.
Did you blur out their names this time?
No. There's 3, although 2 have a very common theme, and I'm not sure if this guy's kidding. The Reddit did it for me. I didn't do it. Is that I just peed myself in public? No, not because there wasn't a bathroom close. There was one within range. Sometimes you have to put yourself in tough situations to overcome adversity.
It sounds to me like he did not overcome adversity. It sounds like he succumbed to adversity, and so did his pants.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Okay, so you're like, that's bizarre. But then right next to it, there's another urine-based LinkedIn lunatic post. Some people hate you not because you're right, but because you're different. This is stupid on many levels, but this isn't how urine in a pool works. It's not like you get a force field. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is going on this website?
I don't know.
We should do an entire show about LinkedIn lunatics.
I know. Here's another one. So he cried not because you fired him, but because he gave you 100% loyalty, which you couldn't value. Like, what?
What? Hold on a second. He cried. Who cried? He did?
He's saying if you get fired, it's like, yeah. But okay, so the post is like cringy enough, but then 7,316 likes, 109 comments, and 183 reposts.
He has 90,000 followers.
Dude, 90,000 followers. And he's talking about crying.
And he's a TEDx guy.
Oh my God. Help me understand this. I don't think we can compete. Listen, I can't compete. What is this? You imagine firing.
I got to be honest with you. I think you had said a while back, you got to stand out. I mean, I think that's where it is. Here's why I think that you've got to tilt it though, Eric. This is where you're wrong.
Yeah.
You've got to be completely insane to really take it to the next level.
I think we're not taking it far enough. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Like I have one. Rip out your own toenail to see what it feels like.
Yeah. He cried.
Pain is vision.
You're going to say he cried not because he ripped his toenail out, but because his boss didn't value his loyalty.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? I would post one underneath and be like, if you got a better offer, would you leave?
Listen, this one had 828 likes. Talking about being self in public. Oh my fucking head. I don't know. Thanks. I don't know that this is the platform. I guess in 100 shows we'll have a better idea of whether or not this is going to work. But we can compete with urine and tears.
Do we stream this on YouTube? Maybe that's the problem.
We do. Oh, I wanted to say too, while we're talking, we have 2 minutes left, but the Rumble is like the right-leaning YouTube that nobody's on. But I think we might want to go over there too. We could be like the controversial Rumble show. Because we're leftists.
Right. What do you think about that? I mean, we have to be careful because YouTube is very strict on like monetization and the use of like what words we're using and what stories we're covering. So like if we're talking about too controversial shit, it's always going to be demonetized.
Well, listen, great news. They haven't given us a cent yet, so it doesn't fucking matter at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, Elon will pay us. He likes us.
Thank you, X.
Oh, yeah, we do live stream on X.
You know what I don't understand is I just what used to baffle me, right? And I'm just going to say this last few minutes. It's like, these movie stars would be like, I can't get my movie made. Didn't you just make $20 million? Yeah. How much could it possibly cost to make a movie? I remember when people, and I don't like this guy, but I'm just saying, people were like, Glenn Beck has his own network. And I'm like, how does Tucker Carlson not have his own Fox?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, he makes like $100 million a year.
I know.
How much does it cost to open up a studio?
I don't understand these.
When you $1 trillion.
Right. Like if you look at Tom Hanks' net worth, it's like $500 million. Like, what the fuck are you doing with that money, man?
Like that, you can't open up a studio? My God, you can't open up a movie theater?
Where's the Tom Hanks studio? Just make whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
Yeah, right. THS, brother.
I know. That's
Brad
what we're
Pitt
doing.
owns the studio. My lord.
Our
Or a
channel is going to be right
production
off
or
the
something.
Scientology. What's the Scientology channel has to be like 681. We're going to be 682.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. All right,
It's gonna
listen.
be a cult.
Join our cult. This is how we monetize. We're going to start a cult.
Platonic.
The Rodney.
Yeah!
No weird sex stuff though.
No, what do we believe in? We believe in love and money.
Love and money. That's all it's about.
Love of money.
And a little bit of weird sex stuff. All right. See you tomorrow, America. We have a guest. It's going to be much better. Trust me. Goodbye. Oh, hold on. Where's the button?
Bye.